Nice of you to join us again at the Brainword Studio. Today, in just a few minutes, you will learn in this two-part session how you can find out if your kindergartners or first graders are on the path for learning to read and spell by the end of first grade. Brain imaging scientists report evidence that 90% of kids should learn to read English by grade 2. Spellings they invent show you if they are on the science-based developmental path to success. Early developmental spelling begins with scribbles, transitions to random letters, then to partial alphabetic spellings, before moving on to the phase where children make a letter for each sound in a word. Children eventually progress to correctly spelling some words while also using invented spellings containing logical English chunks of phonics patterns. Using phase observation, we can monitor beginning readers and spellers' progression through 5 developmental phases and use science-based tools to target instruction to help beginners move forward phase by phase on the pathway to literacy. Let's dig deeper into the 5 developmental phases. To do so, we have with us today Dr. Richard Gentry, co-author of Brainwords: How the Science of Reading Informs Teaching. Dr. Gentry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
We have been discussing the 5 phases that teachers can use to monitor a child's progress in word reading and developmental spelling. Could you please explain the 5 phases of word reading and developmental spelling?
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to.
Dr. Gentry, what should parents or teachers expect to see in preschool?
Well, the child should be doing pencil and paper activity. For example, can the child draw a picture and scribble a message, much like this preschool picture with scribbling? After drawing this picture, the child pointed to his scribbles and said, "This says, 'This is my dad.'" To know that a picture and writing are different is a preschool milestone. What else? If they can make a drawing, write in scribbles, not yet write real letters, and not write their first name, then they are in phase 0 non-alphabetic spelling, expected no later than preschool. Non-alphabetic because they are not yet writing with letters.
Turning to kindergarten, what is developmentally appropriate for the first half of kindergarten?
Of course, some children arrive in kindergarten ahead of these minimal expectations, but all children go through the phases. In the first half of kindergarten, you should see samples like this. Here, you see a grocery list. The child reports, this says milk, this says Raisin Bran, and then he says, this says donuts. So if they can write their first name, if the spelling looks like random letters, and the letters do not yet connect to the sounds of words, then they are in phase 1 pre-alphabetic spelling, expected no later than the first half of kindergarten.
This is very interesting. You can clearly see their development progressing. What should you see in the second half of kindergarten?
Well, they are learning a lot more about the alphabetic letters and how they connect to the sounds in words. But it takes time because English spelling is very complex. Here's an example of what you might see in the second half of kindergarten.
Let me see. Oh, I can guess what it says. First he wrote Humpty, and then he wrote Dumpty.
Yes, so here's what you should expect if they know how to write most English letters. They invent spellings with just a few letters matched to sounds. Note that they may have picked up a few spellings like CAT for cat, but they do not yet know the syllable patterns. They likely do not know that at cat, b at bat, and at fat are short vowel spellings of the at pattern. So all of these examples indicate they are in phase 2, partial alphabetic spelling expected by the end of kindergarten. Partial because only part of the letters match the sounds and words.
Please come back for part 2 of the keys to unlocking reading and spelling in English, as Dr. Richard Gentry tells us what teachers and parents can expect in the first half and second half of first grade. All BrainWords studio productions and sessions can be found on Dr. Gentry's website and on Dr. Gentry's Facebook page. See you soon.